Hello, welcome to the studio. I am happy to have you here with me again. I am in a little funky mood, not gonna lie. I'm gonna start off being honest because that's what we're talking about. We're getting ready to go into a 7-part series for the month of March. Oh, let me put my do not disturb. Please excuse the dog that's going to be barking in the background because she's outside. And let's pull up the chat. Okay, let's put that there. Okay, that's our housekeeping. So that is really it. Welcome to the studio. I am Karen McCoy, and I am your artist, your speaker, your motivator, your whatever it is that you need me to be, long as it's legal. Listen, I have a couple things, but I'm going to give it a little bit till I get my notification that I am live so that way I know that people be done got their notifications and we'll wait till some people pop in. But if you're on Team Replay, you know I appreciate you. I thank you for being here because without you being on Team Replay, I wouldn't have an audience because Team Replay shows up. I am very much so grateful. All right, so today we're going to be talking about radical radical authenticity. I can't look at the word because it's just a big word. But yeah, so there we go. We got our chat up. We got the do not disturb on. And again, please excuse the dog because it's two of them out there on the deck right now, and I forgot to move them before I started the live. So, hey, but that's life on the ranch. We got dogs. All right. I'm going to be doing some creating, and I'm going to be really talking about being vulnerable. And right now I'm going to be, hey, Dawn, how are you? I've been missing you. I was worried about you with all that snow you said you were getting. So I'm happy to see you here. So yeah, and remember everybody hit that thumbs up so that we can do whatever YouTube does with it. I'm still trying to learn all the things, but I did learn something about YouTube, but I'm gonna do a video on it. But I can tell you guys here first that when you're looking for watch hours, I was looking at it, I was like, God, all this time I should have 4,000 watch hours. But YouTube goes back. So today is the 19th. So it goes back to last year's February the 19th. So all of the stuff I did in on February the 17th last year is not there. So it's gone. So every day it's from today a year ago. That's where the watch hour starts to do. And I was like, oh my God, just blew my mind. Hi, Bernadette. How are you? How's the weather in Jacksonville? Oh my God. Yes, we ate all. Yes, we are digging out. Oh man. So how much snow did you get? Oh my goodness. I'm not missing any of that. I know in Colorado, in Breckenridge, I got an email that they got 18 inches in one, like, less than 24 hours, which is normally how it is. I'm not here for it. That's why I moved. I am going to ask for your forgiveness for my voice as well. I'm apologizing for a lot of things today because yesterday I pretty much cried myself to sleep. Well, 2 o'clock this morning because I'm missing my Lily. Lily had to have emergency surgery on my birthday. And so I've been real upset about that. And I'm trying to keep myself sane. I am going to go through some things that I created because I think this is a good time, right? Yes, God has used this time to show me, for one, share my vulnerability. I'm going to be very, very vulnerable about how I'm feeling about it and how it's making me feel. And I'm going to show you some of the things that I've created because in the time when I get upset, when my grief has me and all the things, I create. I come here in the studio, I create. And I was creating yesterday. Well, I was in the studio on my birthday because Monday I still did the live, but I didn't do anything on the live. I just pretty much kind of have conversation. And so, yeah, Lily Rose had to have what I guess you can call, like, for us women, when we have our womanly parts removed. So Lily had to have that removed because it was infected real bad. So we'll just keep her in your prayers. She's supposed to come home today. When, what time, I don't know. But I'm not probably gonna be at ease until till she's home. I didn't want to go to the vet to see her in that state. I'm not one of those people. My grandmother at the same time has been in the hospital. My 97-year-old grandmother, because I have both of them that are still living. But she's home today. She just had to get some blood. So I just like, it was just a lot that was going on. And then at the same time, people were giving me birthday wishes and all of that. So I'm not one of those that put on a big to-do about my birthday. If somebody blessed me, if I get blessed, and all the well wishes that I did get, it did make me, keep me uplifted. So I was level. I still showed up on Monday for my live. And again, I got to show you, instead of talking about it, I get to show you what vulnerability is. Showing you my pain and really walking it out while it's happening really makes me, excuse me, really makes me be more of what I'm talking about, instead of just writing down some points and telling you, what I read in a book. I'm getting to show you and share with you my life personally. And that's just where it is. So I will say this on Team Replay. That's what I was starting to say. Team Replay, if you're scrolling through and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that bell, that subscribe button first, and then that bell notification all, so that when I do go live, you'll be notified, because I do go live other than Mondays and Wednesdays. Like I went live Sunday. But the one thing I want to tell you is for March, we're going to go deeper in talking about vulnerability and creativity and how they literally in my life kind of had a collision, literally. And then the outcome was just something like sprinkles. You know how the kids take, ice cream and sprinkles and put them together? That's how my vulnerability and my creativity, my grief and all of that, it all collided, and then sprinkles pops out. So like yesterday, the day before, today, it's sprinkles. That's all I can say. It's sprinkles. So instead of being sprinkles, it's paint. So it's watercolor paint. It's acrylic paint. It's still honing down like the studio. I'm going to have to do a whole nother studio walkthrough because I've changed a lot. And those are the things that help me really when I'm going through. Listen, vulnerability and creativity are deeply connected in my life. Without creativity, I think I'd probably be a very mean, mad, angry, cantankerous, such and such and such. You add your little, And when you really think about my true creativity, often requires me to open up, and I take a risk sometimes. Like when my son died and I wasn't talking about things, and then when God kept putting it in me, it's like share, talk. And I was like, no. I didn't want to take the risk of what people were going to say. But now I don't care. So that's why today I titled today talking about radical authenticity, right? Once you get to the place where you really don't care, and your innermost thoughts, your emotions, your experiences, or whatever, you don't care about the risk. Because what I found out is people that I really have come in connection since 2019 up until literally yesterday understand, or now they understand, that their grief has to be worked out. It's not something that they can go to sleep day after day after day after day and think that they're going to grow through it and they're going to wake up one day and it not be the pain. I think the pain intensifies the more you ignore it. So vulnerability and creativity, they collided. And so today I'm going to go to the desk, and we're going to go to the desk, and I wanted to ask a question. And I wrote in my journal, and I put it back over there. Let me get some water. That's where where my voice went, I guess. I don't know. But I'm gonna say excuse me now for the rest of the live. So that's just gonna be it. So I want to keep this space meaningful for the next 30 days. Well, the next more than 30 days. So the rest of February, we're going to be, kind of giving you a little bit of what we're going to dive deeper into in March, because I want to really hone in on the fact that when you think about being vulnerable, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to get out of it? And sometimes, like I said, I didn't want to take the risk in the beginning because I didn't want to have to worry about my innermost thoughts or my innermost emotions being judged. And so when you look at being authentic, you have to show up broken before you can show up healed, right? And I want to ask you, what is it that you have to do or that you want to do that makes you want to show up in your authentic self? Now, you might have to ask yourself, first of all, what is authenticity? Right? And then once you answer, and I can't answer it for you. I can only answer it for me. Showing up on YouTube Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm being very authentic. I'm being very vulnerable. And in all of that, I share my work, my feelings, and my emotions, and all the things. And that is me being authentic, right? So let's go over to the desk and see what we're working with today. All right. And I still didn't give Team Replay their message. Mr. McCoy is on the live. And I guess Lily will be picked up sometime, because if he's on the live and he's still here, that means that Lily is not on her way home. That's what that tells me. So until Lily is home, I'm probably not going to be one happy camper, but I digress. Team Replay, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Over here you get realness. You get all the things. Even when I don't feel like showing up, I show up. Why? Because somebody needs to know, even when you're going through some BS.com, life still keeps going. There's somebody around here skipping, hopping, running, and they happy as I can't say what I was going to say, but they happy, right? And I'm happy, don't get me wrong. I am happy in my own space, but I am just a little bit of sad and worried, and and that's just going to be until she comes home. So this is the page that I created Monday on my birthday. And the paint I slapped down, I didn't want to go with black, so I wasn't in that bad of a mood. But normally this is what my creativity looks like when I'm trying to get out of a funk. And so Monday, after, William said Lily was going to have surgery and he came home and she wasn't with him, I was like, my heart started beating fast, and, and I was just like, oh my goodness. Because y'all know when you go into surgery, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So I needed to release that. And so I came over here and I got real messy. I wasn't worried about what it looked like. And this is in my art journal that I made. Y'all know I took out of envelopes. So this is what I'm talking about, how I've taken the envelopes and I just opened to the center page, pulled out some scraps that I had. There will be the process of how I did this. I have a video that is in the works. I'm trying to figure out how to put music to the video. I think I'm going to have to just put it in my iMovie and figure out how to put music that is approved through YouTube on iMovie. Or either I'm going to have to go to YouTube University and figure it out. But either way, the process of me doing this, I'm not talking through it. I'm just doing it. And I wanted to have music in it. I put it on fast forward a little bit so that you didn't have to sit through it, because it took me about 35 minutes to do it all. And that's because I wanted to wait till the layers dry. But I wanted to also put it out there for somebody else. When you have an anxiety, and that's what it was. I was trying to keep myself from having an anxiety attack. And this is what I did. So slapping paint on paper. And this is me being very, very vulnerable and being authentic with you guys. So this is how I heal through it, how I get through it. I just create. And then I have conversations with myself. And like on here, I cut out something. You'll see I cut it out of the devotional. And it's pressing on in Jesus, right? And then this right here, normally I take time to make some sense out of it, but I didn't care. I didn't have time. Don't worry about it. Perfection is not one of the things. When you're being authentic, perfection doesn't work but being authentic. I feel like this thing is just, look. It was bothering with me. It wasn't lining up. But this girl was something that I had printed out, I don't know, last year or something. In my cleaning up process, she fell out. And so I had her in the scraps that I had in my little basket. Y'all know I got my basket. And then I just put a bird up on her shoulder. Because that, God feeds the birds of the air. So who am I to sit up here and worry about what he's going to do? So that was, the birds are just a resemblance of God takes care of the birds. So he was taking care of me. And creativity is messy, just like life. Some days can be messy. And so that's what I did. So when you have your funky moments, let me just call it that. When you have your funky moments, what do? Tell me in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, leave me a comment. What do you do to get yourself through the moment? Because yeah, we can just go. I could have went to sleep, but I couldn't go to sleep. Like I said, I was up last night and I cried myself pretty much to sleep because I was painting, and so we can move on to that because that's what I did next. So last night, let me show you what I did last night. Last night. There should be a purple one. Last night. Last night. And there should be one more. Yep. Nope, two more. Last night. Okay. When I get to feeling a certain type of way and I'm trying to keep myself from losing it, or even if I'm grieving, crying, sad, upset about, my children or whatever it is, I'm going to slap paint on paper. That's my go-to. And the thing that has helped me be vulnerable more is to really be authentic in my expressions. So when you're willing to be vulnerable, your creativity works more in the honest, and it resonates more when you're just not worrying about the perfectionism. So don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about what the end result comes up. But this here actually turned out nice. Last night when I was looking at it, I was like, darn, that's gonna be ugly. I was being very critical of myself last night, and it was because I was in a funky mood. So I was trying to not let my emotions get the best of me. You like, right, Dawn? Just stacked up on top of each other. So I wish I had them in the order of how I did them, but I don't. I do know that this was the last one. I can't say that one and then that one. But I don't know. These ones on the bottom down here, I don't know. Because I paused a little bit and had to eat. Because that's something else. That's another thing. If you don't take care of yourself, then your body responds to all the stress. Luckily, when I went to the doctor Monday, my blood pressure was good. But why? If she'd have checked my blood pressure after I got back home and Lily went to the vet, my blood pressure probably wouldn't have been. But I don't have blood pressure problems. I'm a diabetic. So my A1C went from an 8.7 to an 8.9. And I know it's because I'm not eating. So I'm going to be setting alarm on my phone to tell me to eat, meaning I'm going to get up in the morning and eat breakfast at 7, then I'm going to eat a snack, then I'm going to eat lunch at 12, then I'm going to eat a snack, then I'm going to eat dinner between 3 and 4, and then a snack, and then go to bed. And I'm going to do that. We're going to start out with 30 days because I got to create a new habit. Y'all know how that is. You got to create new habits. But I'm going back to what worked for me a couple years ago. Because a couple years ago, it was down to a 5. After Joshua died, I went from a 4 to a 10. And so I do know I'm a stressor. And most people are stress eaters. I'm a stress not eater. I don't eat. So that's how it's been. Just like now before the live, I had to get me something to eat because I knew I hadn't eaten, drunk my coffee, and ate a banana. And that was a bad combination right there. Okay. Slapping paint on paper. Boom. There we go. This one I love today. This one I didn't do a background. So let me explain. So these two right here, as I'm doing this back here, I was talking to myself. And I was telling myself, so I basically was telling myself a courage story, right? So let me explain. And this is something that you can do when you want to be vulnerable with yourself. A courage story is to tell yourself a story one time when you got the courage to be really, really, really creative, either in your art, creative in your life, whatever the personal journey was that you were vulnerable in and you were very courageous, then tell yourself that story. And so last night I was telling myself the story of, hey, you walked away from not one but two caskets. Hey, you're still standing, So I had to give myself a pep talk. And then the more I gave myself a pep talk, then the more I kept creating. And I could see that my colors got brighter. Like, so these two right here, we got brighter. We started out dark. We put the flowers in something dark, right? We just started on the diabetic journey. It's been so hard learning. It is. But the thing I've learned is, Dawn, the more you don't eat, the worse it is for your body, because your body eat on the unhealthiness that it already has over here. And I've learned that a lot of processed food is not my friend. And sometimes when, you want to go easy, you go through the drive-through. And my nutritionist said anything that has a drive-through, a diabetic don't need to go through. And I do know they did it the last 3 months. So it's only been the last 3 months. So I'm not stressing about it, but it is what it is. Everything else was great. It's just my A1C. I mean, every other test was over the moon. So we're not gonna stress over it. It's okay. God got me, and I'm gonna continue to do what I need to do. And I'm gonna go on a beans and salad, kind of like a Chipotle bowl, but not a whole bowl. So if I make a Chipotle bowl, then I'll eat breakfast, which would be like, let's see, let's talk about it. Let's see, we'll do some what's that toast called? Guacamole. Is that it? Guacamole toast? I think that's what it is. We'll do that. I'm going to have my coffee in the morning. That's just given. That's just a given. But the problem is I don't eat with my coffee. So that's where the problem comes in. Either oatmeal, or we're going to do toast and egg. And then we're going to make like a Chipotle bowl. And then we're going to cut it in half. And I will have it for lunch and then the other half for dinner. So I got a plan. It's just that I don't follow the plan. That's just it. Okay, let's get back to say, yes, I'm the one trying to figure out my other half. For my other half, he was a huge sugar and carb. Oh my God. So he's struggling. Avocado toast, yeah. He was a huge sugar and, yeah. So and that wasn't me. Sugar and carbs wasn't me. That was why I couldn't understand why my A1C keeps going up. But then when I gave the lady and was talking to her about what I was eating, she's like, well, your problem is you don't eat enough. And I was like, well, darn. Okay. So I'm going to have to set an alarm. So I'm going to have to do the opposite of what most diabetics do. And that's been my problem the whole time I've been a diabetic. I became a diabetic in 2014. So again, we got this, but I'm going to I have a schedule, and I'm just going to have to set alarms to eat, because I do eat. I just don't eat enough. And that's where the problem resolves for me. So if your body doesn't get enough, then it runs on, empty quicker, and then it'll eat off of the bad that you already have. And so, yeah. But I do realize that on this right here, when I told myself the courage story, when I shared my story with myself, I realized the next time I went and got something to eat in between this one and this one, or this one and this one. And I realized when I came back, the colors got brighter. Even though I love purple, I went to red, and then I went to lighter blue and tried to lighten this up a little bit, but it wasn't working. But when you share a courage story to yourself of a time when you were very authentic and very courageous, and I don't mean a time when you really, had to have someone help you do it. I mean a time when you just know you did it. I dumped everything sweet in the house that was processed. Yeah, processed. Now that's a good start. If I can get my husband, y'all tell Mr. McCoy to stop buying processed stuff, because he's the one that brings the processed stuff in here. And that's it, and I'll eat it. But I don't have like a sugar problem, like candy and stuff like that. I know I treat myself, but I really don't have an issue with some of the things, so it'll be okay. But when I told myself the story, I broke my creative block, and I didn't realize I had a creative block, right? Because I was creating, I was painting, I was slapping paint on paper. I had did my girl. But I personally have to pay attention to when Mr. McCoy, I'm so sorry. You feel like you got put on blast? You did. But anyways, when you for me, my creative block was I wasn't creating with my pretty colors. I was creating with dark colors. And for my grief journey and for my story to be pleasant and light and get me back in that joy space, I need to create with brighter colors. I need to create in the warm space. And I couldn't get out of the dark space. I was just continuing to be dark. It was dark. So after I took a break and came back, after I told myself my courage story, like think about your courage story. What is it for you? What is that courage story? And you don't have to tell me, but tell yourself. Have it in your arsenal for when you need to show up for yourself. Remember, guys, we're trying to take care of ourselves first. We can't take care of anybody else until we take care of ourselves. And let me tell y'all something. So Mr. McCoy is on here. I've been taking care of him and the dogs and everybody else. And hence, my A1C suffers. He's been sick. Well, he ain't been sick, but he had to take his medicine. I had to remind him to take his medicine. Ask him, do he remind me to take my medicine? Probably not. So, but at the end of the day, it's just one of those things. Tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself so that you can move forward in a positive way, right? Coming to do this live today, I knew that I was going to be very, very authentic because I needed to show up, be vulnerable for number one. Because why? Somebody's going to see this live and they're going to be like, this is not the white living room. Y'all know you get on Instagram and TikTok. Well, I don't think TikTok have it like that. Maybe. I don't know. But you get on Instagram and you get the people that show you they got on all white. Their kids are clean. Their house is clean. The car is clean. The lines in the driveway. Everything is perfect, right? Right? That's not life because there's a lot of stress going along to keep everything clean, white, and crisp. I can't even keep the kitchen sink clean. So that part of the thing is where I'm being very authentic and being very vulnerable to tell you, don't try to be a perfectionist in life. Because let me tell you something, when life hits you, it's going to knock the hell out of you. And then you're going to be sitting up here when something get on your white furniture or get in your white space or whatever, you're not going to know how to handle it. So these are things that I'm telling you, have that courage story ready, available, so when life do happen, you'll know how to talk yourself through it. And then when you get on the phone or you get talking with somebody else, you kind of don't have that block anymore, and you don't have fear of failure or rejection, because those things can cause creative paralysis, right? I live with someone with a traumatic brain injury, so I have to do all the reminding too. Well, Mr. McCoy, he ain't got a traumatic brain injury, but he has memory problems. He's used to being yelled at. You know, the military men, they're used to being yelled at. I don't like yelling. So I try to just gingerly, which is why I just haven't. This is the most talking that I've done since my birthday or since Monday, because I just in a funk. And when I be in a funk, I don't be wanting to talk because, again, I don't be wanting to say the wrong things. And I know me. Listen, a very, very transparent moment right here, right? I use some words that are not very, very Christ-like. But I know that if I keep my mouth closed, I won't use them. You know? So that way, I don't have to be judged by my tone, my mouth, or what I didn't say or what I did say. Okay? So those are ways that I have learned how to take care of Karen, how to embrace my vulnerability. And then when I show up, then I get to show up in a happy place, Or today it wasn't a not so bright place, but I know that I can be very honest and transparent because I want you guys to know that you don't have to always be perfect. Like when life happens, you have to just do what you have to do to get through the day, get through the month, get through the year. And mine just happened to be my creativeness really, really, really helps me to flow freely in my studio with my emotions. So this one came out. This was on Monday night. These were on Monday night. I think this was on Monday night. I was trying to loosen up on my leaves. I don't like the look, so I realized I don't. And you know what, Dawn, you can relate, and somebody else needs to hear it because again, this is not the white living room. This is not the white floors. I don't have it. I have 7 dogs. I have 2 dogs. Boaz has been very clingy, and I know he knows that's because I've been stressing and worrying about Lily, and he is my emotional support dog. So he's been around me. So I didn't fight it. So he slept at the foot of the bed last night. And I can feel him breathing on the side of the bed as if he needed to check on me to see if I was breathing. And I was just like, I'm still woke. And then it was like, he was like, well, go to bed. So in order for him to go to sleep, I just cut the TV off and went to sleep. Eventually I went to sleep. So these are some more. So these weren't done. These wasn't. So this is what I've done. Then I slapped some on the, made that kind of turned out cute. I'll use it in a journal for something. These I wasn't pleased with, but I had to embrace it, right? I started the whole process with my art journal, and then I tried to write, but I couldn't write. I was trying to just do some freehand writing. I couldn't do it. I was trying to let the words just flow, but they wouldn't come. They wasn't coming. Nice words wasn't coming. So after I did this page, where's she at? There are some unpleasant words on this page. Yeah, up under there and up under there. So I got them out of my head so that way they wouldn't be really bothering me. I experimented with some different mediums on here. So that made me feel better because I was just slapping a whole bunch of stuff on here. And then at the end, when it was all done, I was like, I'm pressing on in Jesus. Like I said a prayer and I just let it go, right? So that way I didn't have to worry about what my end goal was going to be. I just let the process go rather than worry about the outcome. And I focused on my mental, so that way I didn't have to worry about the process. Wasn't worried about what it was going to be. And now I have some beautiful pages that I'm going to, y'all know me, I'll turn them into books like I did that other one. It's over there, but we'll turn them to the side. And then I'll probably use it for journaling pages. I don't know. I still have the back. I don't like painting on the back. The back, it feels like it wasn't meant to be painted. To put, well, not watercolor anyway. I possibly can put acrylic on it. But at this point, let me give a break for Team Replay. Team Replay, thank you for being here. Because again, if it wasn't for you showing up on Team Replay, I wouldn't get views. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And remember, Team Replay, coming this March, we'll be diving deeper into a new series of how to handle vulnerability. So you can learn how to show up for yourself first. Okay. I do not be wanting to forget Team Replay because Team Replay is great. Now this is dark. This was, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was on the page. It was some swatching that I had did. And I just slapped some paint across it. It made me feel better. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably undo it because it's pretty. And I'll probably take some acrylic paint and maybe, use some acrylic paint to bring it back to life. But right now it's speaking to me. So I'm not going to stress over it. Remember, we are not trying to be perfect. If you're a mother, you have children, the children are going to drive you batty. The husband's going to drive you batty. The dog is going to drive you batty. The insects are going to drive you batty. Don't let them bother you. Go somewhere, slap some paint on some paper, cut down some bushes. I don't know, whatever it is. Like the things that are available to mothers today, if I would have had them when I was raising my 7 kids, Lord have mercy. We had to be very, 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 very creative. Which is why all of my creativity with watercolors and all the things was where I started this whole creativity journey. Because the kids, when they come home with the science project. They come home with the art project. Do they still have art in school? I don't even know. I don't even remember my grandkids talking about art in school. But yeah, so these are what's been created. I don't like this one. It got messed up. You know what? Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something real quick. Let me see if I can find it. All right. This is how, when I say don't let something that you don't like bother you. This is how slapping paint on paper got its name. I was angry, or I'd be angry, or be on the live, or doing whatever, and learning how to do all these other different things that we're adding to our arsenal. I don't like this brush. It sheds. I just learned how to close it off. You don't like it? Close it off. Now I'm not going. Now I could do all of it, but I'm not. We're just going to kind of just dab there. Now, when that dries, I'll do something else to it. But this is what I'm talking about. When you have a block in your world and something is bothering you, like for me, it just happened to be the dog. Don't let it take you out. I mean, you're going to stress, you're going to worry. Like I'm stressing, I'm not stressing, I'm worried. I'm not stressing. And it's because I'm doing what I'm telling you guys to do, is to show up and do something different. Mine just happened to be with paint. If yours isn't paint, I know Dawn is a creative on here. And we definitely get in our studios and we create. Let's see, if you're a journaler, or let's say if you're on here and you're watching me, or you're on replay and you're just like, I don't do none of that. What do you do? Leave me a message in the comment below, or in the comments below if you're on replay. And you're just like, hey, I get what you're saying, but I don't do none of that. What do you do? What are some things that you could do to take your mind off of whatever's going on? Because y'all know what? Life is going to keep lifing. The one thing I realized after my son's death, after Joshua's funeral, he died on the 4th. His funeral was on the 19th. That was a long time to wait. One thing I learned afterwards, looking back when I wrote my book, I learned that life continued on. My son died October the 4th. The world talked about, did whatever it did until, let's see, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, the 7th. It was still going on. Nobody stopped to pause. No, the world did not stop. The lights did not stop shining. People didn't stop. Traffic didn't stop. So no matter what you have going on in your life, life keeps going. Now what you can do is figure out what you're going to do as life continues to go on. Because even after his funeral, life went on. And here it is, 5 years later, life still going on. A mother, in every breath that I've talked to somebody that lost their child, life still goes on. That's going to be pretty. I'm going to show you that on next Monday, the finished results. Or I might do a live again. Who knows? But I just really want to give you a little bit of take on what goes on in the studio when Karen don't want to do all the things. Do I not have water on my desk? I don't. You know why? Because it's clean. All right, let's put that back there, and hopefully that don't fall. But yes, so that's it. Ways to embrace vulnerability in my creativity. There you go. You get to see it. Being authentic in who you are. Just don't be fake. When you show up for a friend, and they ask you, say something like, Well, I want your opinion on something. Be very, very clear. Well, if you can give it, give it. If you can't, just say, you know what? I ain't in the mood right now. I don't want to right now. Can we circle back? That's you being authentic in who you are and where you are in your life at that moment. You can't be authentic for other people. You can only do it for yourself. And when you're healing, it's best to show up in the best version of yourself. Don't show up and try to be somebody else, because you're the best version of you that you can be. Don't let nobody else tell you what you can and can't do. Show up for you first, and then if you don't want to show up and be there for nobody else, hey Ashley, then don't. The best thing I did for Karen was started showing up for Karen. Okay, I think that's I think I don't know what them dogs are barking at, but y'all forgive them again. Life on the ranch. Oh, and I got this Brillo thing on here because I'm going to make a book. Y'all are going to see. This is going to be the cover. That's going to be the back cover. And that's going to be the spine. We're going to make a little book out of it. I'm going to make it and send it to my granddaughter. Okay. So that is it on, where are we? On time. We're doing good on time. Hello. Welcome back to some FaceTime. I hope that what I've just shared really, really helps somebody. And then if it helps you, then me going through it was not in vain. All right. Right? I'm getting better at asking for time to answer when I'm not sure what to say. Yes, because this is what I've learned personally, that if I'm not in the right attitude, then I'll answer or give people advice from my place of pain or my place of not being there or from my place of brokenness. And so I'd rather be honest and say, I can't answer that right now, but I can listen to you. And then can I get back with you? Because sometimes people just need to talk it out. And then when they talk it out, then, sometimes that could help. But yeah, I would suggest, if you're trying to be authentic and you don't know if you are being authentic with other people's, don't worry about it. Show up for yourself first. And then you'll have kind of this self-expression that will kind of give way that your attitude is good. Oh yeah, we need to wet that. I'm going to get me some coffee or some tea. Probably some tea, some herb tea to get down here and open up my vocals. Okay, so I want you to know that the month of March, if you are scrolling through and you happen to come through this video and just like vulnerability and you're like, that ain't for me. Might be, because I think we hide from it. We weren't taught how to be vulnerable. If anything, we were taught how to hide, because if you have inner thoughts, let me put it this way. If you sit up and you have thoughts, like let's talk about the little girl or the little boy, and you thought about something and you said it out loud, and then someone told you to shut up, go somewhere and sit down, then you're not vulnerable. They didn't teach you how to be vulnerable. They taught you how to hide in the shadows. And everybody else speaks their truth. Everybody else say what they have to say. But you tend to shudder in the background. And everybody else get to say whatever they want to say. They get to speak from their emotions. And you're kind of like a cannon. Once you get, you know how you got a cannon. People keep filling the cannon up, filling it up, then all of a sudden it explodes. That's not being vulnerable. So I'm here and I'm going to be talking, and I'm talking from a place that I've had to come from, because the little girl that I'm talking about, she was told to be quiet. She was told to go find something constructive to do, right? And so the young lady grew up, and then she learned that she had a voice, and it was okay to talk. It was okay to ask questions. It's okay to do all the things, right? And you don't get in trouble for asking questions. They always say, I learned that the question there's no dumb question. The dumb question is the one that you don't ask, right? So if you feel like you don't have the freedom in a place to ask questions, then communicate in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? So vulnerability allows for authenticity. They go together, which in turn fuels your creative expression. And your creative expression might not be mine. Mine just happen to be, I got a whole studio where I do my creating, where I do my fussing, cussing, and all the things in art. And then I get to show up and be very vulnerable and tell you how that was a hurtful process when I did this or when I did that. But after the process is over, I feel better, right? So coming up, we will have in March. And I want you guys, I already have them lined up. You can already go and ask on my YouTube, and it has the notify me button. You can already hit that notify me button so that when I do go live, you'll get an email, that I'll be live. It's going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays the same. It's not going to be any different days. It's going to be Monday, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then if you're not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because why? Coming in March is when we're going to talk about this. I'm going to go deeper on each day as I create something. I'm going to try to plan. I'm trying to decide if I want to plan the creating or if I want to let life plan the creating. Because, like if I would have planned last month for this month, Lily wouldn't have been in the mix, and I would have been trying to get through what I had planned. So I think it worked out better. So I'm trying to just navigate through that. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit those bell, hit the subscribe button, the notify me on my channel if you're already subscribed, so you'll get an email, because you don't want to miss it. Like I'm planning this. I'm really, really planning this. And I think the only thing that I'm going to leave up to not planning is the fact that I am going to probably create on the fly. Like we're going to use watercolor, we're going to use acrylic. I already know that I'm going to use the stuff that's in my studio, and it's going to be a time when I'm going to get rid of all of my scraps. We're going to get rid of, I have 3 baskets, and we're going to get the scraps down, and we can't create with anything else until the scraps are gone. So that means I can't make cards right now because I have too many scraps. And if I make cards, then I'm going to have more scraps. So that's just it. So I would love for you to join me next month, every Monday and Wednesday. It'll be great. I'm still trying to hone in on it because I really, really want the series to teach people how to handle vulnerability. Like really, 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 really not care, but not care in a negative way. Like I think I used the example on Monday. Like I want you to be so vulnerable. Not that I want you to do this, but I want you to, in your mind, that you see yourself walking down the street butt naked, right? And somebody's trying to cover you up. And you're like, oh no, I got this. Excuse me, I got this. Nope, I got this. Because you're just that sure of who you are. And when you can be very vulnerable, that is what that gives you. That gives you that, I don't care what nobody say. And I don't mean in a negative sense. It's just like you don't care if somebody wants to talk about the fact that you don't have an all-white house or an all-white bedroom. Your car isn't clean all the time. Like you don't have to show up being perfect all the time. And the best way to do that is just not worrying about what people got to say. So that's what I'm saying. I've been using for my scrap bin too. Yes, John, we got to get rid of them scrap bins. And that's why I decided to make another book, because I can use some scraps out of that. And I'm going to do a lot more videoing of my process so that I can put it here on my YouTube channel and people can see the process, as opposed to always I show the end product. But if you want to learn, if you're on Team Replay or for your life, if you want to learn anything of how I do anything, the how I do it is what I won't be teaching on YouTube. You have to join my Patreon for that. And the link to that is in the description box below. in my Patreon, you get step-by-step, one-on-one process videos and class of how to do all the things. Like, how am I going to make this? So I will make this on my Patreon. They'll get a whole video and step by step and point by point. And at the end, you'll get a fast forward video of how to do it. And like people say, oh, well, I can just pause the video. You can. I don't stress over that. You can. But if it's something that you really want to take time to learn and invest in yourself, then join me in my Patreon group. And one day we're going to have over here on YouTube where we're going to have membership where you can join, and we'll be just right here on YouTube, because this is the only place I am. I go on Facebook, I go on Instagram, but I give y'all all of me pretty much over here, especially on the live. Okay, so that is it for today. That's all I got for you today. I do want you to, after this video is done, if you would do me a great, great favor and leave me a comment up under this video, so that way when people are watching the replay, they can see your comments and they can kind of give way to what you said. Because once we go away and the live is gone, they don't get all the comments that you have here. So whatever it is you want to share with the people on replay, give me one takeaway of this video and do it in the comments after the live is done and it comes up and you can comment. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, guys. As always, I thank you for showing up, and I thank you for being here with me, and I thank you for helping me to be in a better mood. So when I finish, I will go and I don't know. I won't know until I push that finish button, but probably stay in here. Oh, I'm going to go get some coffee, and then I'll probably be in here. And then I'm going to go ask Mr. McCoy, has he heard from the vet? So if you're watching, you get the question right now. Have you heard from the vet? And what time are you going to pick up Lily? Because it's almost 4 o'clock, and the vet closes at 5 o'clock. It's all in love. All right, guys. I love you, and thank you. I appreciate y'all for showing up. And thank you. Listen. Thank you for letting me be authentic and who I am. And thank you for letting me be vulnerable and helping you get to the same place where you get to show up greatly and not worrying about what the world got to say either. Bye, guys.